So far we've been talking about new changes and strategies in SEO and some of the changes that we're seeing in the SERPs. But to finish our webinar today, I'm going to look at some outdated tactics that we should be leaving behind. As SEOs, we've got to keep up with a constantly changing search landscape. And to make room for some of these new strategies and new features in the SERPs, we do need to leave some outdated practices behind. Today, we're going to look at 5 tactics you should be leaving behind in 2019. First up is keyword stuffing. And this is really a tactic that should have been left behind years ago, but one which we do continue to see used frequently. It's an outdated SEO technique that did work very well in its heyday, and it's designed to manipulate search engines by creating spammy content that's solely focused on keywords instead of on quality content. Keyword stuffing creates a poor user experience, and it's generally very low quality content for the user. It's jarring, it can be very boring to read content that has been stuffed with keywords. Although it can see some short-term gains, keyword stuffing is now considered a black hat tactic, and it could lead to ranking drops or penalties. We should be moving away from this hyper-focus on individual keywords and moving towards in-depth topical relevance. And that's something that Greg and Brandon have spoken about earlier in this presentation, this focus on topical relevance instead of on individual keywords. That could be implemented in the form of a topic cluster strategy like I looked at previously, or it could be simply high-quality individual pieces of content. Next up, and in a similar vein, we're looking at OverOptimised Alt Text. So alt text is foremost used to describe an image to a visually impaired person, and secondly, for a robot who can't see or read an image. Alt text has become a really hot topic in the past year as businesses move to become compliant with the American Disabilities or ADA Act. Alt text has definitely been a victim of keyword stuffing in the past. And just as keyword stuffing your body copy on page is seen as spammy, so too is stuffing your image alt text with a string of keywords. Instead, we should be looking to create accurate and relevant alt text descriptions, which support rich and relevant content on your topic. So a reliance on buying links. Backlinks have always played a very important role in the SEO landscape, and they are still relevant in 2019. Link building has been severely abused, but despite some recent reports, it is not yet dead. However, as the landscape becomes more sophisticated, link building tactics must move with the times. Long gone are the days when your SEO strategy could rely on a handful of purchased backlinks. Buying or selling links is a clear violation of Google's Webmaster Guidelines and will result in a penalty if you're caught. Organically gained links are still important, but they should be part of a more holistic SEO strategy that provides quality content and a positive user experience. Now, this is my favorite tactic that we should be leaving behind, quantity over quality. So as we move away from targeting individual keywords and move towards topical authority, we move away from producing huge quantities of content and focus much more on quality. So many businesses find that they are producing masses of content, they're really straining their resources, and the content that they're producing is often underperforming. Instead, we should be spending more time creating less content that's of a much higher and more focused quality. And my last tactic to leave behind today is the use of multiple domains and multiple subdomains. And most of the tactics that I've talked about leaving behind so far are considered gray or black hat tactics, and this one is an exception. Creating multiple subdomains or separate domains for your business is a legitimate white hat strategy. The aim here is to try and dominate SERPs by ranking with multiple domains. And this has been and is still successful for many sites, such as Zillow or Trulia. However, using this tactic to create new sites and subdomains in 2019 is unlikely to be successful. You run the risk of splitting or cannibalizing your link equity, not to mention those resources, which, as we've already mentioned, are pretty strained already. So instead, we would recommend using subfolders to host your content and focus on raising the overall SEO value and quality of your main site. These are just a handful of tactics to retire in 2019, and we know that there's many more out there. We're really interested to hear your thoughts in the comments on any other tactics that you're leaving or have already left behind. So feel free to reach out to us on Twitter with any of those.